Hello, I'm Ron Wilson and welcome back to PD Sessions. The RBA has once again kept the interest rate steady in April as global financial conditions have improved significantly in recent months. In international news, troubled economy Cyprus struck a last-minute bailout deal, while China and Brazil signed a currency swap deal. In other news, the government has announced its long-awaited changes to the super system, and ASIC has released guidance to improve disclosure in annual reports of listed entities. Trevor Trahan has the details.
The RBA's latest financial stability review found that global financial conditions have improved significantly in recent months, despite the dire financial situation in Cyprus. The RBA said European policy initiatives have demonstrated a strong commitment to deal with the region's sovereign debt and banking sector problems. Confidence was also enhanced by further signs of recovery in some of the major economies, notably the United States, supported by continued monetary stimulus. The RBA reported the Australian banking system also remains in a relatively strong position and, once again, kept the country's interest rate steady at 3% at its April board meeting. In global news, troubled Cyprus struck a last-minute bailout deal worth €10 billion, aimed at preventing the island becoming the first country forced out of the single European currency. Components of the deal include Cyprus's second largest bank, Laiki Bank, will be split into a good bank and a bad bank. The bad bank will be run down over time. Deposits below €100,000 will be transferred to the good bank and folded into Bank of Cyprus. The Bank of Cyprus will be recapitalised through a deposit or equity conversion of uninsured deposits with full contribution of equity shareholders and bondholders. China and Brazil have signed a currency swap deal designed to safeguard against another global financial crisis. The pact will allow their central banks to swap local currencies worth up to $30 billion. Officials claim this will ensure smooth bilateral trade regardless of global financial conditions. Along with being the world's second largest economy, China is also Brazil's biggest trading partner. The Bank of England's Financial Policy Committee has stated that UK banks will need to raise an extra £25 billion or 38 billion Australian dollars after detailing the capital shortfall facing the country's financial institutions. The committee's findings include prescriptions for a number of institutions to further increase capital buffers to reflect a proper valuation of their assets. The Gillard government's superannuation changes have been confirmed in a reform bill to improve the fairness, sustainability and efficiency of the superannuation system. The reforms will cap the tax exemption for earnings on super assets supporting income streams at $100,000 with a concessional tax rate of 15% applying thereafter. Simplify the design and administration of the higher concessional contributions cap, reform the treatment of concessional contributions in excess of the annual cap, extend the normal deeming rules to superannuation account-based income streams, extend concessional tax treatment to deferred lifetime annuities, and further reform the arrangements for lost super. The federal government has introduced legislation designed to further encourage the development of Australia's retail corporate bond market. The legislation amends the Corporations Act to introduce a two-part simple corporate bonds prospectus. The new prospectus reduces the current compliance costs associated with the offer of simple corporate bonds to retail investors, both in the first issuance and in subsequent tranches. Modify the current director's liability that is attached to the offer of simple corporate bonds and to clarify the defences provided in respect to director's liability that apply to all offers of securities. To allow for simple corporate bonds to be transferred from the wholesale to the retail market in line with the approach adopted for retail trading in CGS through the introduction of simple corporate bond depository interests. ASIC has released a regulatory guide to improve disclosure in annual reports of listed entities. ASIC believes operating and financial reviews can be improved and has released RG247, Effective Disclosure in an Operating and Financial Review. Amongst the guide's aims are to promote better communication of useful and meaningful information to shareholders, assist directors in understanding their OFR requirements, appropriate standards of disclosure through the inclusion of worked examples. ASIC has released a consultation paper and proposed regulatory guidance on risk management practices for responsible entities in the managed fund sector. Consultation paper 204, Risk Management Systems of Responsible Entities, is based on many current practices of responsible entities, including ensuring risk management systems comprise processes to identify, assess and treat risks, ensuring these processes are suitable for individual business objectives and operations, ensuring that risk management systems address all material risks, including strategic, governance, operational, investment and liquidity risks, and reviewing risk management systems regularly and no less than annually for appropriateness, effectiveness and relevance to individual businesses. APRA has released a response paper and a package of 35 final reporting standards, reporting forms and instructions for APRA-regulated superannuation funds. APRA's reporting requirements implement the transparency and accountability recommendations from the government's strongest super reforms and the proposals APRA previously consulted on in 2009. APRA's Deputy Chairman Ross Jones said the new reporting requirements strike an appropriate balance between ensuring APRA has adequate information for prudential supervision while addressing practical issues raised in submissions.